All right, nerds, welcome back to the show. And to start it off, just a couple announcements. So, this is pretty big, pretty exciting because obviously, like last year, we said we were going to go back to BlurredCon, whether we had to pay for it or not. But the Blurred Station press crew, and thanks to all you lovely people out there that are fans and blurs of your own that enjoyed what we did last year. Thanks to you guys, we have reached our goal and our budget goal. So you will be seeing the Blurred Station Cross BlurredCon live stream, the 3-day extravaganza once again. So tune in March 7th through March 9th. BlurredCon will be there.
I'll be traveling for work, so I won't actually be there. Yes, but I'll check in.
We'll be there in spirit. But we do have one of our guys behind the scenes that lives in the shadows, Taz.
The Shadow Realm.
Yeah, Terrace. He will be joining me there. He'll be helping me do some camera work, get some interviews.
Yeah.
And, experiencing his first BlurredCon. So I'm excited to help him with that experience.
That's awesome. Yep. That'll be a good time.
Yeah, we'll be seeing the Blurred Station crew. We'll be seeing some friends that I've made over the past year, some friends that I made at the last BlurredCon, some pretty cool people that are into some cool things. Hopefully get to meet some more people.
So will the pimp be back?
Oh, the pimp will be there. I don't think he'll be a pimp this time. I'm suspecting he will pull out a I'm suspecting, because I'm getting hints from his Facebook page, and I'm thinking he might pull out Kendrick and bell bottoms. He does a lot of creative and off the wall cosplays, because he does cosplay like all the time. It's kind of his life. He does things. I just saw he did like some kind of like runway modeling thing in cosplay. So like he's always on the move doing some cosplay stuff. So like, he has to be creative to keep coming up with ideas for like every, but yeah. And at the last BlurredCon there was it was a Kendrick Jesus, something like that. He was dressed as Kendrick Jesus or something. I can't remember, but it was good, and it's going to be great this time. You get to see the Blurred Station crew. We're going to hang out with the Blurred's Eye View crew. And speaking of the Blurred's Eye View crew and Blurred Station crew, our next guest on What's Your Nerd will be the lovely Lady Mandalore, Kira of Blurred's Eye View. She is a huge indie comic book nerd. She's a huge voice acting nerd. And overall, awesome Blurred. She's one half of Room Full of Blurs, the podcast. The other half is Navy Montel. Hopefully we'll have him on shortly after her, because they are both awesome people. Those were the two big announcements we had. So to end this podcast, we are going to do what we promised and give you a top 5 list. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. And Marshall, he was in charge of selecting what will we be listing? What top 5 list are we doing today?
So the top 5 list that I thought would be a fun one, just for me personally, this has always been a special thing in my heart, is the top 5 mechs. So essentially, like things along the lines of Gundam or like Zoids or anything along those lines.
Top 5 favorite mechs or mechs that changed your life or shaped your childhood.
And that's not limiting it to like just anime or anything. It's just overall the wide spanning arc of it. So yeah, just go ahead and dive in.
I think it'd be fitting. I just thought of this. So I don't have anything written down. You can do it if you want, if you think it's a good idea. If we have like some on the red carpets, the outside looking ends, who didn't quite make the list? Do you have like 1 or 2 that you thought about flirting with in that list?
Didn't
quite make that list.
So I think one of the ones that really just barely kind of missed the list for me would be Metabee from Metabots. And basically kind of Metabots in general. I that was one
You
of the
know
first
what?
shows
When
I
you first
watched.
said Metabots, I could not remember. I was like, I know that name, but I don't remember what it is. And then you said Metabee. I'm like, oh my God. That yes, yes.
Yep.
So same. I have
Yeah.
Metabee is on my outside looking in as well.
Yeah, I mean, like that was just such a great little. It's a fun show. It's a good mixture of the slice of life, just a kid and his robot getting into trouble, but then there's also like the major battles and like the significant story that goes
Yeah.
along with it.
I love that
Um,
show. That was one of the
yeah.
first animes that I remember where like that comedic humor really like hit for me.
hmm Yeah, yeah. And I had like the Nintendo like DS game or SD and advanced games for it. So
Yeah.
I was really into
I had the
it.
Metabots game and I had the not as fun game, but I thought was gonna be fun. It was the Mega Man Network one.
Oh
You remember
yeah,
that? Like,
I
yeah,
liked.
that
I enjoyed that one. I was like,
it
oh,
was fun, but it was like I remember like looking at it like, why do I think this game is fun? It's kind of like repetitive. It's not
100%.
quite.
Yeah.
It's not. Not quite fighting. Like it's like just
Um,
hacking, basically.
it's
It was weird. Weird. That's when I knew I was like a real gaming nerd. It's just like I just play anything. Like just play.
And then like I think another kind of honorable mention for me would be it would have to be the Gundam from Blood Orphans. I can't
Mm-hmm.
think of. I think it's called Egress or something like that. I really like. I love that series. I That's probably it snuck its way into probably top like three Gundam series for me. But yeah, like I think the overall like design of it, it just kind of like looked a little bit I don't want to say like goofy. It just wasn't like what you're used to, I guess, is what I'm getting towards, like in the Gundam verse.
It
Like
didn't seem
obviously
that.
in like those first generations, you have some very unique ones with like the Zaku's and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then as you move on down the line, they all start to look more or less very humanoid, bipedal, and just you can recognize that like oh yeah like all these Gundams are basically getting to the same frame.
Yeah.
They still kind of have that, but like more in this series they have a little bit more of a I guess like sleeker build where it's not necessarily pure humanoid. It kind of looks like it's like a Martian Gundam because it is like kind of on the planet Mars, so it makes sense in that, but like I don't know, like it just barely missed it for me. Still love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
love it.
Nah, I get you. I hear you.
Um, but yeah, like I mean, those God, that list could go on. So I'll stick with those two for at least for now. But yeah, that list could go on and on and on and on and on for me. Um, but yeah, I guess so besides the Metabee for you, who else would you have?
Okay, so for my cutting room floor honorable mentions, I I didn't know how if this qualified, but I think it qualifies as a mech suit. Like, does a mech suit have to be like a large?
No.
Okay, okay. So like Beetleborgs,
Yeah, I respect that. I
Beetleborgs is in
respect
my
that.
honorable mentions. Didn't quite make the cut, but I do like them a lot. The next one I couldn't remember the name. Um, it's from Power Rangers Turbo, but it was like the other guy. He was like a motorcycle and turned into like
Oh,
a humanoid robot type thing. Mechs.
um,
He was
oh
like
my
a
God.
patrolman or something like that.
Yeah, he was the coolest character. 100%. I know specifically I can picture him. I can't remember what he's called, but I had that toy and I loved it.
Yeah, I had the toy as well. Hold on, wait, I gotta find it out right now. I'm looking it up. I don't know. I don't know. I'll look it up in a minute. But next on my cutting room floor, um, I had the blue liger from Zoids.
Oh God, dude, yeah, Blade Liger, that's a classic. I
Blade
love
liger. I
that
said blue
one.
liger. Blade liger.
I mean, it's blue like 90% of the time. I think I had the red toy
The
for a
red
little
one.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, the Zoid toys were highly underrated. Like the
100%.
expensive ones that I don't even know how expensive they were, but I remember my parents didn't want to buy it.
Oh, they bought mine and they were expensive.
Yeah, and they ended up getting me the Liger, the white one.
hmm
Dude, like
Man, that's a nice one.
those were intricate toys. Like
Yeah,
I just
the
remember
assembly
how
of those was a lot.
yeah, like Zoids, they don't that doesn't get enough love. Zoids was awesome and amazing.
Blue Centurion.
Was that his name?
Yes.
See, I wouldn't have remembered that at all. Like so
I mean, I had to Google it. It took me a little bit just to, like I was like typing in keywords.
yeah, I tried to Google it while talking and I was like, okay, it's not just gonna show it to me. So it's just oh man. But do you want to kick off your top five?
Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely roll with it. Oh, I'm so happy I found that though. God, that was bothering me.
Satisfying.
Yeah. But yeah, so my list, I'm like, it was hard to kind of put these in like a specific order, but the ones that like, these are like the ones that came to my mind like first.
Yeah, same. I didn't really order mine as well.
Yeah. But first and foremost for me, you know what? It
You
was Shadow Fox from Zoids. That was like I love that
oh,
Gundam. Like when Brad got that and was like fighting Bit, it was just like I was like, oh damn, this thing is badass. It has a
once
rotating
again,
like sentry gun.
once again, I got to reiterate, man. Zoids, one of the most underrated animes of all time.
100%.
Like of all time. Like
hmm
I feel like everybody was into it. Actually, no. I remember only a couple of my friends us talking about it at the
Yeah,
time.
because like it was one of those things where I would bring it up, but like nobody knew what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
not like even the anime watchers is like nobody. Zoids,
Like,
nobody.
none of y'all?
Okay,
None of
whatever.
y'all? All right. Bueller.
Bueller.
But yeah, that was like my thing for a long time. It was
Yeah.
like my username for a lot of video game stuff. So I was obsessed. But
Nice.
then next would probably have to be Heavy Arms from Gundam Wing.
Mm.
Specifically like the Mach 2 version of it, where he has like dual giant sentry guns that he just palms and it just
Yeah.
goes wild.
Yeah.
Um, and also the pilot Trevor Noah, I just thought he was a cool overall character storyline where it's just this random like space engineer worker that takes over the identity of this aristocrat that he kills. It's like, oh, all right, yeah. Um, but then after Heavy Arms, this one is going more towards a video game, and that is specifically Raven 1 from Metalcore. And just the overall customization you can do for it, but God, I love it. That game is
Yeah.
so much fun,
Yeah.
but it is also very much like any Souls game where it's a grind, and when you die, you go all the way back.
Way to the back. Get to the
Mhm.
back of the line.
Yep.
It's depressing when you lose.
It's it
It,
hurts
you,
so
I'm
much.
not gonna lie. I don't lose a lot in that game. So when I do, I feel like every two times I lose, I delete the game.
Yep, but
Like,
I'm
you know
like
what?
I did everything I could. I did.
I'll come back later because that
Yep.
was a lot.
I'm gonna come back when I have a cooler mind because I got real heated.
I just gotta forget about this situation entirely, and then I'll come back.
But then after the Raven one, I think the next one, again, sticking with the video game theme, BT 7274 from Titanfall 2. So the main
Mm,
mech that you pilot in that game,
yeah. So
I love that connection that
when
they
you
have.
had said you can do video games as well, that's the first thing I thought of. I didn't
Yeah,
put it on my list because I knew you were going to.
yeah, I loved it. I just love that. That game to me too is also a very like slept on one. Because a lot of people didn't enjoy the first Titanfall, which the first one it was mainly created for the online play, like 100%. Like let's be honest. But then
Yeah.
they kind of realized they're like, oh, we could really like take advantage of this. So then with Titanfall 2, they put a real story behind it and truly got you like invested and connected into your relationship with your main character, the pilot, and the mech you're taking over. And just yeah, I just loved it. It was yeah, so good, so good. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And then last but certainly not least, because it's tattooed on my body,
Okay.
Evangelion Unit 1.
Obviously. That is a brilliant list, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. So I have on my list number five, Mechagodzilla.
Great one. That is a great one. Damn, I respect that. Yep.
What is a mech list without Mechagodzilla?
Honestly, I didn't even think of that. Damn, that is a good one.
I was like, Mecha's
If
his
this was a
name.
draft, I'd be very upset.
Upset. Like we looking at your scout team. Who overlooked Mechagodzilla?
What are
Who? You're
you
fired.
doing?
All right. And then number I'm trying to I'm trying to like put these in order as I'm saying them for some reason, and I don't think I'll be able to. So I'm just going to read it. Next on my list, Voltron, the whole unit,
Classic,
the whole
classic.
unit.
Not just one specific cat, the whole,
Nah,
all cat.
when they come together like Voltron, you know, the sword, you need the sword, you know.
Need the sword. Sword.
Swords. Um, next on my list, we have now, don't get mad, but it's one of my favorite episodes. Robo Dexo 2000 from Dexter.
No, I can't be mad because that's a fucking great one.
He saved the world. A man
Oh,
had him in his house. Like the house would turn upside down and just
God, that's
he'd
so
come out
funny.
from the bottom.
God, that's a great that is a deep cut and a great pull. Shit.
If you know, you know. If you're old enough, you definitely know.
God damn.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Next on the list, we have the Dragon Zord, the Green Ranger's Dragon Zord.
I had that toy. Badass. Yep.
I had the flute, never had the actual dragon toy. My
That
buddy,
shit broke real easily.
my buddy had the toy. I didn't have the toy. I had the flute though, but that's all I really wanted was the flute, right?
Yeah. That's what holds the power.
Okay, so let me make sure I said four already. All right,
Mhm.
and my number one, Big O,
Big O.
Big
God,
O.
that is a
It
great
was.
one too.
I love that anime. Honestly, I was thinking about it the other day. I need to start watching it again. I haven't
Yeah,
listened
man.
to Big O
Like
since I was a
that
kid.
the just overall like steampunk noir feel of it is
Dude, it
just so
was
perfect.
so badass, dude. It was highly underrated.
Mhm.
Highly underrated. But yeah, I mean,
Damn, great list. Fuck.
I had to go off to all, I was like, I haven't seen that many mech animes. And I'm like, wait, I know some mechs.
Yeah.
They might be a little bit, obscure.
Hey, that was still a great list. That was amazing.
I had to pull that Robo Dexo on them. Like,
Yeah, that was a good one. Damn, that was a sleeper pick.
nah, but your list was, dude, you're cutting your honorable mention list was pretty pretty dope as well.
Dude, I mean, there's so many. There's like, God, the amount that I could just like even think of. There's just it. I feel like, mechs are something that you could forever find a show, a game, something that's going to stand out to you. Um, and yeah, I mean, Zoids was my true and tried like fall in love like anime.
Mm, yeah.
It just was. I don't know why. I don't know
It
why.
was so cool. It was
It
one
was
of the
just
coolest.
yeah.
One of the
It it
coolest.
it was just yeah. I don't know. It just seems so pure to me, and I was just like yeah, like this is dope. It's goofy. Like the main character is just a guy that happened to be in the right place at the right time, type of thing. Yeah, I don't know, it's just ragtag group. Plus, like, who doesn't love a giant mech animal with weapons?
Right? Right?
Like,
Right? That you could pilot.
yeah, there's
No,
literally a bowl that has giant missile launchers on it.
no, crap, I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Oh.
Damn it. It's about a specific. Oh, wait. Is it messed up that we didn't have any Transformers in there?
I feel like those would have been the easy ones.
Right? Okay, okay. So I wasn't the only one thinking something like that.
No, and like don't be wrong. Like I think my favorite Transformer like series would have to be the ones where they have the mini bots that can attach to them and
Oh yeah,
give them like the special powers. Because I had the toys of those too.
yeah,
Because
those,
the mini bots would like scan bikes, skateboards, and scooters and
yeah.
transform into
And then
those.
the humans could use them.
Yep.
And so I remember that the cartoon was my favorite. I think my aside from that, I think my favorite was probably Beast Wars.
Beast Wars is, yeah, that's a dope one too.
It was just so sick.
So good. God, what a time that was.
And then I didn't put them on my list because I couldn't remember any of their names and I didn't feel like Googling them. But it was a game on Xbox that me and my friend, when I lived in Greensboro, used to play all the time. This was like sixth grade, seventh grade. And it was like a mech game. It was like mech was in the name. And it was so sick. You could just like you could do battle royale in a city, pick your mech, and y'all fight. Oh, I can never remember the name of this game because I know it'd take me forever to find it.
Was it Mech Assault?
No, it was like, well, let me see. It might have been.
I mean, I mean, Xbox has God knows how many mech related games.
It was like when Xbox first came out, like the original. Ooh, ooh, yes, it was Mech Assault. It was
Ah,
Mech Assault.
called that.
Yes, this was the game. Oh
Bonus points
man,
me. It's
me and my boy used to play that game all the time. Me and my homie Dexter.
great name.
Dude, we played that game for hours though. That was a great game.
That was a good one. Like that was just like so classic.
Oh, good
Just
call on the name. But well,
God. But hey,
that's all we have for you guys.
another great session as always.
Yes, it was a brilliant session. I enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. My
As
guy,
always.
Wisconsin Johnson. We will be try to do this weekly from now on. We'll try to. We can't make any
But
promises.
life be life and
Hey, look, life is like this man's getting married.
yeah, I am so
Married in negative 30-degree weather. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And now we have to
Got
do a
venues canceling
yeah, so now we
because of
have to
natural
pivot.
disasters.
Woo!
And then we got BlurredCon next month. Next month.
God, it is already almost March.
Dude,
Wild.
I know you can't go to BlurredCon, but I'm adding a con this year. So if you can, Atlantic Comic Con.
Okay.
It's in the same
Just
city. In the same
yeah.
city.
Just let me know when then.
So it's August or September.
Yeah, I should be able to pull that off then. Not a problem.
You know, you
Especially
know.
since I have so much time then.
But yeah, that's the one I'm gonna try to go to. It's a blurred convention, so should be fun. A lot of good comic book artists go there. So,
Dope, dope.
but all right, nerds, blurs,
We out.
and in the words of Kendrick, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. He a fan. He a fan. He a fan.
Oh God, still perfect performance.
Ah,
Oh, hey,
good night,
good
America.
night.
Peace.